Hello, and welcome to, yet again, another episode of the DomJake Podcast. In case this is your first time watching, I'm your host, Dominic, and I have a co-host here named Jacob.
That's me.
Alright, for all you internet people, I'm sure you've all heard of this platform called Reddit.
I think so. I may have read it before.
You read it, alright, I see. So people have their diaries and journals, but sometimes we may not have one, so we just go to Reddit and vent out all our problems on there.
Right on.
In that case, we do have a story that, of course, we got the original people who typed out these stories credited in here, so shout out to anyone who wrote these stories. All right.
Right on. Hold on. Hold your horses for a second, Dom. I've heard of Reddit before, but what are we doing there?
Well, we're going to determine if... Let's first talk about a segment called Am I the Asshole?
Yes, you are. What? I didn't say anything.
Not telling you what this is. Well, what it means is, this person that's typing in questioning, oh, am I the asshole for this? Am I the asshole for that? And us as the reader have to determine that. So let's get into some terminology here for all the people who don't know anything about Reddit.
This will come up a lot.
Here's the initials. Yep, these are in initials, so...
Yeah, little abbreviations.
The first one is called YTA. And YTA stands for You're the Asshole. And this means that the majority of people who commented on OP's posts believe that OP is in the wrong. I think we can all figure that out. So whoever's typing it is in the wrong for this, their actions.
What does OP mean?
OP stands for original poster.
All right.
Original person, doesn't matter.
All right. Carry on.
Okay, so next one, not the asshole, which in abbreviations, NTA, sounds like a TV channel, but no, that's not what this is. This means that the majority of people who commented on OP's post believe that OP is not in the wrong, and that person has every right to feel whatever way. Next one. NEI, which stands for not enough information, which usually this doesn't happen very common on Reddit, but there are stories that don't have enough information or things that tend to contradict in them. I don't really have to explain it, but it's like a fifth grader that would write this, and everything's just all jumbled up.
Not necessarily just that, though. I mean, sometimes there's just not enough information to determine if they're in the wrong or not. Not necessarily that everything's jumbled up. Of course, that could happen too, but hopefully not in the ones that we selected.
All right. Next one. This one is YAA. You're all assholes. So
Yo.
everyone involved is an ass.
It's like Oprah. You're the asshole. You're the asshole.
Here's another one. NAH. No assholes here. Which is also something else that's not common. But this means that nobody's in the wrong, and that whatever actions they did were justified. And here's the one. It's called updates. Technically, which is a separate category, which it has all of the above mentioned categorized stories in one. It has asses, saints, anything as long as it's an updated story. Which that's what I kind of know about when I look at Reddit or listen to Reddit stories on a platform.
Because those are the ones that kind of get a little bit spicy, where it's like, oh, I'm dying to hear more. Part 2, update. Oh my god, it's here, right?
So, with that out of the way, what are you guys waiting for? Let's dive into a story that I have listed here.
Oh, I thought I was going to be the segue. No worries, no worries.
All right, so, this username is a little bit. I mean, it depends on your perspective. This can get a little bit naughty. We have to give original credit. So, this story is by PM Me Your Kitties. You can look at that in different ways, but that's not the point of this story.
Perfect.
All right, so here's the first. Here it is. Am I the asshole? I took $2,000 to get off the plane and came home late. All right, so here it is. Delta gave me $2,000 to skip my flight. This is $2,000 that can be spent anywhere. That flight looked like it was going to get canceled anyway. It did. So now I have $2,000 and a hotel stay, but my fiance is mad at me because I chose the money over coming home. But it looked like the flight was going to be canceled. Not to mention, I called once and texted once to ask her opinion, and she didn't answer either, so I had to make the decision by myself. She claims because she's been in a semi-depressed state the last few days, it was crazy of me to ever make that decision. She has not communicated to me well enough how bad she is right now. Last night when we spoke, and she seemed better. So let me get this straight. So it looked like the flight was going to get canceled, and he has $2,000 like in his pocket. So, honestly, there's again, there's probably multiple ways people may be able to look at this.
Yeah, so judging based off of what you said, Delta, the airline, obviously, if it wasn't explained, Delta is an American airline, not to be confused with American Airlines. So judging by the sound of it, it seems like Delta, an airline, actually messed up and had to cancel a flight, right? And they have to, well, I guess they don't, legally they should, but I guess if you don't know that you're supposed to get reimbursed, then sometimes they don't reimburse you, right? If you don't know, then it's not going to hurt you, right?
Mm-hmm.
But in this case, this guy got $2,000 for getting rescheduled or canceled on the flight. This guy doesn't seem to really grasp the situation because, well, okay, well, I'll finish what I was going to say, but this guy doesn't seem to grasp the situation that they should have tried to find a way to get home, right? They shouldn't have just stayed in the hotel, especially if he might have said, I'll be there tomorrow," and then maybe he didn't say anything to his fiance until like afterwards, but for a plethora of reasons, maybe his battery died, maybe whatever, but actually no, it said she didn't get back to him.
She sounded like she was mad with something. Now she's like, oh, now she's not talking to him.
No, yeah, he called once and texted once to ask her opinions, and she didn't answer either of them. So he did try to get in contact. However, that's not something where you just text once and call once. It's something where you kind of, in my opinion, you have to make sure that you got the message. Because for whatever reason, you could always miss a call. You could always just not hear a text go off. So he is at fault for not really letting her know ahead of time. But it's one of those things that he's
in a bit of a pickle.
He's definitely in a pickle, but it sounds like he's kind of writing it in a way that makes him sound better than he actually is. I would kind of have to say that, judging based off of this, I would have to say that I'm going to give two categories here for my voting. There's either not enough information because it is pretty short. It does give us an idea, but it doesn't really say. The fiance tried calling back or something. It doesn't say like what happened as an aftermath due to this or whatever. So it's either not enough information or it is a YTA,
I'm just
aka PM me your kitties, might be the AH here, right?
I'm mixed between not enough information or IAAs.
Oh, you want to explain the everyone being?
So okay, he's first of all, he is like I don't know, he didn't even so you probably should have tried to contact her a few more times, and if she doesn't pick up, okay, that's fine. But maybe he should not have done it just once. That I
Yeah.
just or she doesn't answer, leave a voicemail. Eventually she'll look at it. For her side, okay, now she's kind of making him feel pressured because she's depressed. I don't know, personally, that would just like be like, okay, why is this my problem at this? But I don't know.
Right, but and I'll give it this. I'll kind of be a little bit of an advocate here. On the other side, okay, so it does sound like you kind of stuck in between the not enough information and at least the guy being
Mm-hmm.
an A, right?
Mm-hmm.
So we do agree that both that he is, at least from what little information we have, an asshole, right?
Mm-hmm.
But to give the fiance a little bit of credit, she's not the one who's typing this.
No.
It's his recollection of what happened. And he might have been, exaggerating the truth. He might have even been lying about how she reacted. Maybe it was simply just she said, "Oh, you're not going to be here tonight. Instead, you're going to be here tomorrow night. Oh, that makes me sad." Right? That could have literally been what happened, but in his Reddit diary, he's explaining it like, and she was so depressed.
Mm-hmm.
And she's trying to
Oh,
sit here and victimize herself or something.
that's what I'm thinking. So she's guilting him.
That's not, no, you're misunderstanding what I'm saying. I'm saying I think he's telling maybe not the entire truth here.
But
I'm saying I don't think she is guilt tripping at all. I think he's just telling it a poor enough way that makes him seem like the saint, or more of a saint than, I guess. I mean, at the end of the day, we don't know
we don't.
really the behind the scenes for any of this. We are just going based off of what these words say.
I think I'm going to lean more towards the NEI for the.
You're thinking NEI?
Because enough information to say who's in the wrong and who's in the right.
However, but you did agree with me that at least the dude is in the wrong.
Yeah, so he's kind of also could have, I don't know, he could have to try to get back to her even though she's like depressed.
You're kind of yeah, you're piling on the depressed fiance too much, I think.
No. I'm saying, but then I'm saying he should have tried a few attempts, but that's not the point of the story.
I mean, I believe I get what you're saying, but it's one of those things you don't really know. You know what happened from his point of view. What I'm trying to say is you're kind of focusing on his version of the fiance. His version that he's telling you that she was trying to guilt trip me, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's what his opinion of the fiance is. This isn't her saying what happened on her side of things. I said earlier, she literally just might have said, "Oh, I'm a little sad you're not going to make it, but okay." And then he might have misread that as, "Oh, she's so depressed." No, she just said she's going to miss you tonight, right? That's what I'm saying. I'm not. At the end of the day, I don't think the fiance is at all in the wrong, because there's not enough information about her side. Um, Even like a third party too, like maybe, I don't know, one of the best friends says this or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to say, as my final verdict, if we want to do like a vote, like a definite, like, this is what I think, this is what you think. I think this I poster, OP here, is the asshole. Solely. I believe it's a YTA moment.
Mm-hmm.
Or, okay, like I said, I am stuck between YTA and NEI, but
More kind of the balance is kind of leaning more towards YTA.
that's my opinion. I'm locking it in. Final answer. The points are on the board. Um, what is your final opinion? Whether or not I swayed you?
I think because of the length of this article, it's more towards NEI.
An NEI.
But
Okay.
I do see why you think that. So that's, I think, NEI for me.
I could see what you originally thought, like YAA. I see the idea, but don't even have words really that the fiance said.
We don't have enough information. There's not information.
Yeah, I mean, flat out, that's the sentence to really take away. We don't have enough information, so my votes are pretty much going to be based off of what is here.
All right.
I'm going to stick with YTA. What do you you're locking in NEI,
All right.
I guess.
So yeah. So that's that story. So that's my final vote.
You know what? Let's do this here. Um, let's do the interaction bit right now. Um, Comment section, if you're listening, you heard that whole thing. We might even actually put the stories like in the descriptions, or maybe in the pinned comment or something below. But just in case you didn't hear everything properly, maybe the audio cut out, who knows. But if you're listening and you want to comment your opinion on whether this guy is in the wrong, or maybe the wife is, maybe it's just the Delta airline for canceling every flight.
Hmm.
Tell us your opinion down below for this one as well as the one I'm about to share.
Right, so actually, listen to yours.
Let's listen to my the asshole for scolding my husband for watching Total Drama Island nonstop. This is by Mango83. I had to start out with the goofy one, but maybe the feelings in it are still valid. Relax. Mine's a little bit more lengthy than yours, so we should have something to say. 23 male, have been worrying about my husband, 24 male, because he won't stop watching Total Drama Island. We've been married for about 2 years and we got along very well. But, as of late, he has become obsessed with this animated show called Total Drama Island. He won't stop talking about it, talking about his favorite characters, all of his online profiles. Oh wait, no. All of his online profiles are just Total Drama Island. At first, I supported him with this because I thought it was harmless, but it has gotten me but it is at this point. Sometimes he won't go to social events because all he wants to do is watch Total Drama Island. We skipped my grandpa's funeral because he just wanted to watch that stupid, and this is caps lock, stupid show. He watches it and rewatches it. And I'm lucky if he even wants to fool around a bit.
Mm-hmm.
But even then, he puts Total Drama Island in the background. I'm so sick of it. Yesterday, I threatened to kick him out if he doesn't stop. But we had an argument, and I am packing up his stuff right now. He's screaming and crying, but I don't care. What do I do? Am I the asshole?
Okay, so sounds like a parent-child little predicament. Oh, he won't stop watching Power Rangers or Total Drama Island. Come on, we have to go to school. No, I want to watch this.
The guy who's older, the 24-year-old, is the one who can't stop watching the show. The 23-year-old is the one saying, "Hey, can we go to my grandfather's funeral?"
Okay, that should say everything right there.
It's almost like it's the age gap of we were married, right? It's me telling you, "Hey, stop watching Total Drama every single day."
Or how about, I don't know, it's constantly watching us. So like you said, he skipped his grandpa's funeral over that show. So that sounds like okay, so
He didn't skip his grandfather's, he skipped his spouse's, which is the OP of this story. Or of this truth. Maybe it is fictitious, maybe it is actual fact. Who knows? But we'll go off of what it says. These could be, planned out, just made up stories, but these could be real. We're going to go judge these based off if they were real. So even if they are made up, they're not in our world, I guess. But grandfather, and I'm kind of paraphrasing what this guy's saying. I'm not talking about my personal one. Guys, I'm going to say it was me, right? My grandfather passed away. I wanted a girl with my spouse, but my spouse can't go because he's watching a show.
okay, that's
He's not there to support me and my family for, losing a loved one. I can't, it's one, I mean, it's one thing actually saying, "Oh, I might get fired if I don't go into a shift, so I can't really," that funeral thing saying that. But I think on the day it's one of those things where it's like, you couldn't go to a thing just because of an animated show that you're probably going to watch after it if you were to have went, right? It's silliness. Do you want to talk about it without voting, without saying who's in the wrong yet? Just talk about it.
I just think so. Okay. So I was probably, if I was wanting to watch like SpongeBob over, let's say your dog got ran over by a SUV, and I don't want to be there to watch your dog get put into ashes because I want to watch this show. You'd probably be upset at me for that, and asshole if you wanted an annulment or
A friend divorce.
yeah, but so the OP spouse is taking this Total Drama Island seriously. Okay, OP doesn't sound like the asshole in this situation.
I was just about to say that. I don't think OP in this is an asshole.
So NTA immediately, NTA.
Yes, I'm going to say NTA. It's definitely not like a thing of, YTA. OP is not the asshole, definitely. It's also not YAA. Because of that fact, I would say there is enough information to determine this, because this is saying pretty much what is happening on his side of things and seemingly from the other side. Plus, I mean, not going to a funeral just because of Total Drama Island is kind of silly. I mean, you get in your like fixation sometimes, right? Like you get obsessions. You might listen to the same song over and over and over again. So much to the point where you don't want to leave your room just because you want to listen to the song again and again and again.
Yeah.
But this is another like
take it to
it's gonna be hard. It's gonna be hard for me to not watch Total Drama Island today, but I'll do it for you, babe, right?
Well, who cares about that show at this point? My grandpa died or my dog died. Who cares?
Right.
But
I also for final vote. Yeah, this is a strong like NTA. You are not. OP is not in the wrong in the slightest. I like playing devil's advocate for stories like this though, where it's like maybe mailed into nonstop watching this show because you know like who saw the guy it's not Chug is yeah, Jigsaw. It's like maybe Jigsaw is playing a game with him saying, you have to watch this animated show forever and ever, and if you don't, everyone you know is gonna burn in a fire or something like that, right?
Yeah.
Maybe it's something goofy like that. Like that would be like a devil's advocate moment where it's like, oh, there's a reason why he's watching the show, but he can't say it. But no, based off of the information here,
no.
I mean, we are judging based off of what we think the OP is.
Yeah.
Not necessarily everybody. I mean, unless if everybody's not really that bad or everybody is bad, we're not going to really talk about other people. OPs, they're not.
Yeah.
And it sounds like we agree.
Yeah.
Sounds like it.
Hold on once. Why don't we do one more story that I found? And this OP is The Quiet One 9891, which I'm assuming that's the person's date of birth. But yeah, so this one is titled, Am I the Asshole for Leaving in the Middle of a Date? So, this one's going to be interesting.
From the title, I don't have enough information because it's indifferent, right? Just from the title alone, there are definitely times you should do this. There are definitely times where you shouldn't. So the title doesn't really give us any clues, does it?
We don't even know the reason why, what happened. So yeah. we'll find out. So
we need to know why. Well, so let's find out why. All
right. So I, a 33-year-old male, went on a date last night with a gal, which age is not listed, that I had briefly been talking to. She was late for the date, which is fine. Shit happens. I asked her if everything was okay, and that she replied that she has just finished up filming, and that's why she was late. I asked her what sort of filming, because I love films. She gave me an obnoxious giggle and told me to subscribe to her. Let's just put this in abbreviations because I'm not... You already know it.
I want you to say the initials just to make sure that, because I'm not reading this. I literally am on the first page. Can you say the initials?
OF.
Oh my god, I thought so.
Because I think we briefly talked about this in the movie episode. Because as a joke so
Carry on.
we talked about this during the show. So yeah, she told me to subscribe to her OF if I wanted to see. I was a bit appalled. She wanted to tell me how it was and then proceeded to start asking my monthly income. I excused myself to the bathroom, paid for the tab for what was ordered, told them anything else she ordered is on her dime, then I left. She messaged me later freaking out about me leaving and how she really, really likes me. I just blocked her number. I don't feel a need to explain myself. It was a first date. I'm not into that. And she can obviously get someone else. Am I the asshole?
You want to take this? You want to start with your opinions?
I'm just gonna. This might be a very unpopular opinion, but I really don't care at this point. Well, in my personal opinion, no, not the asshole. She didn't even tell him about this whole thing that she does, and until they went on a date, which, hey, sometimes you gotta be upfront and honest with somebody before you go on a date. He just doesn't want to be with someone like her, which is completely fine. On the other hand, it is her choice to do what she wants as a job, to be fair. That's all I can say. But if he doesn't want to be with someone like her, then hey, that's his choice.
Obviously, everybody has their opinions when it comes to relationships. A good amount of people want to have their relationship monogamous, right? Or just a you and I. However, OF, we'll just do the abbreviations, is essentially her, I'll just call it freelance job, right?
Yep.
It's like a freelance. It is her income. However, it's also one of those things that if she was to have gone about it a different way, maybe, then I believe it could have gone better, or at least for the guy, right? This is one of those heated topics. I've seen opinions of varying degrees on this topic. I will be a devil's advocate for this, though, just to offer the other side. I guess we should say this now and make it clear, but these are possible stances that people have, not the opinions of this channel or the hosts. That said, some could believe that he's at fault for not accepting what she does for a living. You wouldn't walk out of a date only based on them being a librarian or a construction worker. I mean, at least I believe. So why walk for an OF person? Some people like the fact that this actually came up on the first date. People like knowing things as soon as possible, and this certainly was quick. Then other people will believe the guy is not in the wrong since the start of the date was pretty much a sales pitch, and asking for income on the first date is typically a no-go.
Not to mention her excuse for being late, and basically said that I was late because I was done filming somewhere where I was in a situation with two dudes. Not like she said this, not like she said this a week ago, and now her focus is on him. It just happened that day.
Which, yeah, that could come across as a shock for a lot of people. Another bit of advocacy, though, on the other side anyway, is the question, why is this any different from a movie where the actors get jiggy on film? It could just be the character for a paycheck and nothing else. Actors, and we'll just say naughty actors, deserve to have a real relationship as much as any of us, as much as the rest of us.
Mm-hmm. And though probably someone who isn't uncomfortable with the idea that their love interest occasionally gets paid to be in this situation.
And that's fair. That's totally fair. I will also mention that it could have been just how she worded it, which may have gave him the ick. Maybe it would have been cool if she said, I'm an actress, or maybe I make content online, I'm a streamer. Not a lot of people would pry more than that. I mean, of course, some people would, but that's the outlier, at least in the new scene. Maybe if you were 70 years old, you'd be like, what do you do there? I do feel bad for her if she genuinely did want a relationship with the guy, which at least from what he says, it sounds like she could have, because at the end of that story, it did say, you know, she said, "But I really liked you," and then he blocked her. But a relationship considers and acknowledges both parties' feelings, not just the one.
Yeah. With that being said, though, what are we going to vote?
Sure. And it's also worth restating that we're pretty much only voting based off of what the story says. Of course, all of these stories are written by one side only, and we can't really see what the other people involved think. That said, we should get to a verdict about this one. Uh, since it was your story that you found, do you want to go first?
Yep, and I already said not the asshole because, like I stated earlier, she didn't even tell him all of these things till the first date. And she
Right.
was like,
Oh, I do this kind of work.
yep, so that's pretty much what she did.
You put on an echo for that.
Yeah.
Nice.
But that aside, but yeah, she just told him this while they were on the date, not before the date, not when they just met, but okay, on the date. And not to mention, reading between the lines, she asks,
What's your income take?
Jesus.
okay, that's not a question you should ask on a first date. And I think this guy had enough and was like, paycheck, please, and let's go.
I mean, overall, yeah, I do think the same, but perhaps I could be swayed into thinking no, no A's here. I'm kind of at a 75-25 split with this, and not the A being the bigger percent, so I believe we kind of agree with the verdict on this one. Um, yeah, I guess NTA.
Huh, guess that's it then.
Well, a quick recap just in case people want to skip to the end. The first one Dom shared was the Delta flight reimbursement to stay at a hotel. We were in between "you're the asshole" and "not enough information." We leaned towards "not enough information" for that one. For my one, we had the funny Couple Drama Island story, which we both agreed on, not the asshole. And finally, the walking out on a date with a wife gal. We voted not the asshole, but with a slight bit of no assholes here. On my part, anyway.
Well, we are entitled to our opinions, so you're allowed to have it.
Totally. And as long as you don't get banned, we do like hearing what your opinions are in the comments. Don't get us banned.
I will. It's gonna feel like a big slap in the face right here.
Ow! Is that a soundboard?
No, that was that's my yeah, it is kinda.
Jeez.
With
Uh,
that,
how come you didn't bring this up in the first half of this?
yeah, it's supposed to be a surprise, you know.
And you know what? It was definitely a surprise, man. Didn't even know it. You had this. You must have had this for the whole time we were recording. Like this couldn't have been like a new thing, right? Like,
I had this. Well,
unless if like an hour ago you just downloaded something new
this
or
is the
something.
first time. This is the first time I'm using it.
Yeah, you pull it out like the last 10 minutes.
But
Anyway,
well, anyways, everybody. Well, this has been quite an interesting episode of the DomJake Podcast. And if you like this episode, feel free to share your experience on Reddit or not. Share your experience in the comments section. But with that out of the way, yeah, nothing really else to say. Comment, like, subscribe, like, turn on the notification bell in case you ever miss a video. So, peace out.
it's also worth asking for a nice little share every now and then, because sharing to people who might not even know us might be a little cool thing just to get our word out there a little bit. There's also another neat little thing to maybe look out for. Would you mind sharing sharing about something that might be coming out soon?
Ooh, we got our first non-podcast type of project coming our way.
It's in the works. For only filming stuff, we're only 95% done with the filming, and then the editing's gonna be soon. So honestly, we're probably going to we might release our next podcast before releasing the but you know what? We don't really know what our schedule's gonna be, so I guess this is really a peace out moment then, right?
All right, stay tuned.